Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. This week, going to be going over the 360 engine I'm about to put in the Ramcharger sitting right over there. If you could turn around, you could see it. But we're going to get that here in a second. I got a little bit of prep to do before I get it down in there, and then I'm kind of putting it in there for a fitment thing, and then get ready to do the suspension in there because I have weight on the suspension. I'll also have a tech topic that I'm going to be going over for Mopars, so stay tuned for that. Let's jump to it. Okay, there we are on the engine stand. I got a little bit of work to do on it. This bolt hole right here, you know, every manufacturer has their oddities, and that one goes into a water jacket. They always break and get jacked up. That one's no longer tightening down, so I'll need to go in and clean that up and heel coil that. Or take the head off and go take it to the machine shop, so I really don't want to do that on a running engine. All right, there we go. I want to replace the bolts that come with these Speedmaster valve covers. These are some sort of pot metal, aluminum, something, and the heads strip out real easy before you can even get a good torque on there. So that's the other thing I'll be doing. Other than that, we're pretty much to where we're going to go into the Ramcharger sans transmission, which we're about to get to that. All right, let our light change. So there we go, stuff going to the other shop. That is the 351, that 3-speed transmission, things that go along with that, Slint 6 parts, and I'm going to be breaking down the cherry picker and putting it in there to unload all that stuff and bring back the 727 that's going to go with this right here in the Ramcharger. That's the build, that's the plan, that's what I'm looking at doing. I'll need to rebuild that transmission, but I can get everything in there and mocked up and get weight on wheels so I can start my brake suspension. What's wrong with that? One's got a grasshopper on it. Huh, that would have been a whole lot cheaper. But anyways, that way I can start the brake suspension, get all that done, pull the engine out, finish firewall and everything. I want to do a little bit different routing on my accessories. That's where the clutch pedal goes for a linkage style clutch. Okay, we're staring at the back half of a 360 small block Mopar engine. The reason we're doing that is we're going to be looking at our crankshaft right here. Now, all 360s had a cast crankshaft in them. The 340 and 318 could have come with a steel crankshaft in there. So that's a couple little differences there. You notice that we got a little balance cut out right here on the 360, and we notice that our two bolt holes here are closer together than the rest of them right there. So that'll be which flywheel, flex plate, torque converter, depends on if you're manual or automatic, that will go on this engine. Also, since this is an external balance, because it's a 360 and it has to be odd, that's I think that's why that notch is right there, is because it's going to be external balance with either the torque converter or the flywheel. Also, the harmonic damper is different on a 360. Let's take a peek at the transmission over here. Okay, this is a 727 transmission, and this is the small flex plate. So we're going to look into flex plates in a minute, and I'll show you there's a difference between a big flex plate and a small. This is actually a 727 with a small flex plate, because this torque converter is, the factory had a high stall and a low stall. So don't get excited, this isn't like a 3500 stall converter. It's you had the low stall, which I don't know what the numbers were, but it's pretty dismal. And then the high stall was more for your performance or towing application, so it's up there a little bit higher. Had one of these, this come out of the 88 Dodge truck that I had, so it's just a factory high stall. That's why the converter's a little smaller, and it uses a smaller bolt pattern. The Flexplate, if we look, we see that it has the 2 offset holes. We know that'll match up to our crankshaft right there because of that. And it matches the converter because the 4 holes go into its place. These only go on one way, and you have to have the converter facing the right direction. If you flip this converter, or the, not converter, but the Flexplate, if you flip this thing around, it will not bolt up. So that's a common thing to do. Actually, I did it when I was mocking this up. You notice I got my paint on here to mark that mounting tab to that, so I know how that goes together right there. Also, if you look on this torque converter, you see this piece of metal right there. That is the balance for the external balance 360. That's how the factory did it. You can actually get the neutral balance converter and get a weighted flex plate that does the same thing. Several companies make those. Now note where these holes are right here. Remember, our crankshaft had this clocked pretty much the same way. Our crankshaft had those there and had the notch in it. Across from the notch, we have our balance tab right there. So all this looks like it lines up pretty good. Like I said, I got it marked. The other thing I want to note, this looks a bit different if you're used to Ford and Chevrolets, because Mopar wanted to do it differently than everyone else and put the starter ring gear on the torque converter and not the flex plate. Don't know why they did it like that, but at least they got the firing order right, or maybe Chevy got the firing order right from Mopar, right? Depends how you want to look at it. Okay, let's go over some Mopar flex plates. As you notice, there's 3 different types of flex plates. The major one is being the big flex plate, which is for the 727 for most part. And we have the smaller flex plate, which is for the 904. The other thing you'll notice is the bolt pattern. You see how the bolt holes, you have 2 of them that are offset together on this one and this one here. This one is even right there. So that says this is an even pattern. And I had to look this up. It took me a little bit of research. The even pattern is a slant 6 flex plate, and given it's a small one, that's for a 904. This is the, well, everything else for a 904, all the V8 stuff. And then, like I said, that's 727 right there. So that's the 3 different flex plates. Actually, you can get into some 8-bolt crank stuff, which is usually aftermarket or very early. I think all the 426 Hemi stuff was like that. I had to look that up too. But that's generally what you're going to run into right there. Okay, now doesn't that look good? Cross member's not in, but we're looking pretty good. Looks like I can come down on the engine a little bit, but I'll get all that figured out here shortly. But I want to show the progress. So now I'm on mock-up phase of the engine. I can figure out where my gauges are going. I also have weight, or will have weight, on here, so I'll start working on the suspension and brakes and steering system on there, right? So yeah, that's where we're at on take 2. Yeah, I think this alternator is going to go. I'm going to go with a higher output alternator and its bracket. Yeah, so we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Like I said, it's easier to do all the mock-up right now. It's still going to have to come out because I want to do all my frame rails, firewall, all that stuff. I want to have it all cleaned up and painted. All right, getting stuff mocked up. I'll show you something. So these are the fabricated valve covers from Speedmaster. They make several of them for different applications. This is the Mopar ones. And I had this sneaky feeling. See how close that is? It wouldn't take very much for that to hit. I mean, we're talking 1/8 inch maybe. So this is why I'm doing a mock-up, because I can figure out a way to fix that now. And I got a good idea on it. I didn't have that problem in the other truck because it had a smaller diameter one for, I know the big block trucks use that. I don't know if that 73, if that's the factory one or not. It just because it's 3/4 ton or a year or whatever. So I'm going to look into that. Yeah, headers. on here, clearing fine. Went on there pretty easy. I think that might be the only mock-up issues I have. I do have something down here on the cross member I'm going to show you. These Dodge truck cross members, they're a pain in the butt, and I'll show you why. Touch my screen so I can see it. Way overkill right there. 8 bolts holding it in. Well, that top piece up there, well, let's look across the way. So the top piece up there has 2 bolts. They go down in from the frame. They're not held in by anything. They free spin, and you can't get them out unless you lift the cab up, right? So you got to line those 2 up on both sides while getting the transmission mount in. And I don't have it bolted up, but I know it'll fit. That's kind of idea. I was arguing with it, and it was arguing with me, and well, that's kind of, we went round and round, but I got it to where I want it to be for now. But anyways, I don't like that because you still got the bolts down on the bottom, so that's 8 pretty big bolts to hold in a transmission. That's a bit overkill. So I think I have an idea on this, how to modify this. I got the one out of the wreck truck. If it's still good, I think I'll modify it and not modify the factory one right here. And who knows, I might have this goofy thing in backwards too. Because you see that way, and then we look on the other side and there's a lip back there. And I never can remember how those things go, right? So I could have it in backwards, and that might be some of my issues that I'm having there. I don't know. But the transmission's in its place, so I can check exhaust. See, there's the header coming out. I want to extend this collector here. I want to add a foot to it, and this tells me I have enough room to add a foot to it on both sides. So plenty of clearance. Note, on those valve covers I was telling you about, here is the Allen bolt that goes in there. It's pretty wimpy. I think this is one of the ones that the head of it started stripping out before it even got torqued down. So I did what most people do, go to the hardware store, and figured out they didn't have the right size anyway, and they were going to be way too expensive. So then I went to Amazon, and I got these stainless steel ones that fit down in there, much thicker head. Let's do it side by side. Right here, shiny, so it's kind of hard to see. So it's a lot beefier, and it's a real steel instead of that pot metal stuff. Not talking about the stuff you smoke either. We're talking stuff that comes off the top of the pot. The scum and crud, that's pot metal. That's what we call that. So got me some real bolts. I think it's like $11 for 10 of them. So $1 a piece for them. All right. Now wasn't that fun right there, right? Getting to see that drop down in there. Now I'm ready to go ahead and start getting the A-arms off and all that stuff right there, brakes off, because all that stuff's going to be either replaced or rebuilt, right? But that's going to be next week or next video on the playlist. Depends on how you got it sorted, right? But I appreciate you dropping by, and I'll see you next time on Broken Tool Garage.